Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. So 3 days ago on March 8th, I posted a video about the lowest mintage wheat penny. In that video, we talked about the 1909 VDB Lincoln Cent, the 1914 Denver Mint, and the 1931 San Francisco Mint. And that video did particularly well, so I figured today we'd talk about the exact opposite, and we talk about the highest mintage Lincoln penny out there, which is the 1982 Lincoln penny. In 1982, there were absolute ton produced. There were 10.7 billion with a B produced at the Philadelphia Mint, as well as 6 billion produced at the Denver Mint. Now, as many of you might also know, 1982 was a transition year as far as the metal content goes. So they switched from 95% copper to 97% zinc. So that really high production amount, as well as the switch in metal content, created some interesting variety coins that we're going to try and dig into on today's video. Before we get into that, though, I want to show off this little gift I got from my sister. This coin right here, which I'm going to make a video about on another date. I believe this to be a 1739 New York penny. So that would be a Holland Dutch colonial penny from 1739. So thank you to my sister for that, and we'll get a video about that shortly, in which I'll talk about it after I do some more research on it. All right, let's get back into the 1982 Lincoln pennies. I have this little kind of fort right here that I built out of coin rolls. Looks like it was probably a better idea when I was thinking about it, because you can't even really see all the rolls. But the rolls were there to kind of demonstrate how easy it is to find these particular coins. So 1982, the most common year of them all as far as pennies. When you're looking at other coins, in case you're interested in most other common years, the 1964 Denver Mint nickel was the highest minted nickel at 1.7 billion, the 1967 dime at 2.2 billion, and the 1965 quarter at 1.8 billion. So 64 to 67 for the other coins were really popular. However, for the penny, they saved it until 1982. Now, your 1982 pennies can come in all shapes and sizes. These four right here just so happen to all be from the Philadelphia Mint, so they're not going to have a mint mark on them. But the main coins we're going to be talking about today are the Denver Mint coins, because when the mint switched over from copper to zinc, they shortly realized that they couldn't use the same dies that they were using previously, so they had to switch up the size of the mint mark, actually, and that created a small d and a large d variety for those particular coins. So let's move some of these coins out that aren't in as great of shape, and we'll just zoom in on this one. Now, we're mostly going to be talking about the Denver Mint, which to know if you have a Denver Mint, it'll have just a little or a large D right underneath the 1982 there. So look there for the mint mark. That will indicate that if it's one of the, if there's no mint mark, it'll be one of the 10.7 billion that were made at the Philadelphia Mint. If there is a mint mark, it will be one of the 6 billion that were made at the Denver Mint. So let's talk a little bit about the metal content of the coin to give you some background. So coins, pennies in particular, from 1909 until 1982, they had 95% copper, 5% zinc. The total weight of those coins is 3.11 grams. Now that switched a little bit in 1943 when they made the steel cent, was fabricated during World War II, so they didn't have to use up as much copper. But the 1909 to 1982 Lincoln cents, those will have a melt value of 2 cents just based on their copper content alone. So that's why the mint switched over, the main reason the mint switched over in 1982 to make more zinc concentrated pennies. So the zinc concentrated pennies do have some copper in them. They are 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper. So they still have that copper to them, copper color to them. And now those 1982 pennies were made all the way up into today's current pennies as far as the metal content goes. So those coins are going to weigh 2.5 grams. So in 1982, the zinc and the copper versions of the cent were both produced. They can be differentiated by weight. The copper ones will be 3.11 grams. The zinc pennies will be 2.5 grams. The zinc pennies will have a melt value of less than 1 cent, which is kind of ideal, what you're hoping to see when you see a mint producing pennies. That means probably costs less to produce than it might actually be worth. As far as the metal content, obviously there's labor and stuff that goes into it as well. So the key that we wanted to talk about for this 1982. So 1982 D small cent coin is the real rare coin that you're going to be looking for. So 1982 varieties involved the so-called large date and the small date die modifications and two different types of planchets that were used, solid copper alloy and copper plated zinc. Between the two planchets and two styles of dies used, 8 different combinations were possible between the Philadelphia and the Denver mints involved for the business strike production. Now, a business strike production, that simply means it wasn't part of a special mint set or a proof coin. It was made for general circulation. And those general circulation coins are usually going to be worth more than the proof coins because proof coins don't really get banged up too much. They're generally just kept in a proof set. Okay, so the mint switched over from striking copper alloy to copper-plated zinc planchets sometime in the mid-1982, making it even more confusing as to why they wouldn't just wait till the end of the year. This was done as a cost-saving measure. The copper alloy planchets were too expensive to strike, and the mint was losing money. But it didn't end there. The mint had trouble striking the new planchets with dies bearing the old die design. Used for a number of years. So they modified the die to make them more suitable to strike on the copper-plated zinc cents. So that kind of makes sense to me. If you're striking something and the metal content changes, you're going to have to switch up the die that you use so that you can get a real clean strike. So the 1982 D small cent is what the most valuable one is. So that, as far as this goes, I don't see an exact price on that. I'm not sure that one in particular has gone out to auction, but keep in mind when you're looking for and through your 1982 pennies to keep an eye out for the small date versus the large date. And if you've got the 1982D small date in bronze, out there, dozens, perhaps hundreds, but not thousands. So 1982 small date in bronze, that is the one that you're going to be on the lookout for. All right, we'll start to wrap up today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We talked about the largest minted coins for each of the different coins that are out there. So 1964 D nickel, 1967 dime, and 1965 quarter, as well as the 1982 penny. And there are a couple of different varieties out there as far as the small versus the large date. If you want a more thorough analysis on the small versus large date and see actual pictures, you can search those online. I can't really get into them on this channel or on YouTube through this way of communicating because it's a little harder to do. So go out there and search them. Have a great day, everyone. Best of luck coin collecting. Thanks to all the subscribers and the people that are supporting me on this channel. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Enjoy.